Hello, internet people of wonder and mystery. My name is Ashton. I am gonna be your GM and host today here on I Am Not Trying to Kill You. I've got the name of the game wrong in the overlay. Dang it! I'm not trying to. We're playing Scum and Villainy. Here, let me. Be real professional. Real. Look. See, this is the thing, right? Like, I can be professional, or I can just hang a hat on it, and it becomes a gag. So we're playing Scum and Villainy. We're gonna go do some space adventures. I'm gonna be running the game, and I have with me 4 amazing space zoids of different shapes and colors and sizes. I'll get them to give an introduction of themselves, their pronouns, and their characters. Starting with DC. Hi, DC. How you going?
Hi, Ash. My name is DC.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Currently make a game called Mutants in the Night. It's real good. My character's name is Thane. He goes by he, him, mostly because he looks masculine and he was like, okay.
Works for me.
Thane is a scoundrel who used to be a part of a syndicate, and now he's off on his own with a group of very strange friends.
The strangest friends.
Yeah, sure. So far, friends. And having some pretty cool adventures.
Yeah. Cool. What does Thane look like?
Do you want to see the picture?
Do you have a picture? Please.
It's on my character sheet.
Oh yes, of course it is. I will bring it up. Fuck yes, of course. Beautiful boy.
That's Thane.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, next up we have Evie. Hi, Evie.
Hi, my name is Evie. I use she, her pronouns. And I am playing Ren, who is a human space person. She is, her character class is the muscle. So she is the tough guy around here. She is ex-military, discharged for not following orders. So she kind of bashed around the galaxy a little bit and then has joined up with this ragtag bunch.
I like discharged for not following orders. That's like the main thing. That's how the military works.
It's so tropey, isn't it, though? Like,
oh
you
yeah,
know.
100%. Yeah. Awesome. Cammy, how you going?
Hello, I'm good. I mean, I'm Cammy.
Hi, Cammy. I'm Dad.
Hey, Dad. I'm Zoid. I prefer she/her pronouns, but just don't call me dude or guy. I realized last night.
It's
it.
I hate like Australians always think that they can get away with mate, and it's like mate's not gendered. I'm like, fuck off, right? Like, no.
And I am playing Tin Can, who that's his nickname at least, or their nickname. They are equally ambivalent about pronouns, I guess.
Okay, so because you've got him listed in the, and I've got that listed on the overlay. Do you want me to change that?
Yeah.
So they them?
Yeah. And they are a mechanic and are basically just a tech priest from 40k. Is my inspiration for that, but not in a weird way, because the tech priests are weird anyway.
Tech priests are pretty freaking weird to start with. Awesome, cool. And then finally, Cherry. I heard you were doing some art, Cherry. No? Okay.
No, I ended up having some medical treatments yesterday that left me a lot.
Okay.
So I didn't manage to get to it, sadly, but hopefully by next time.
That's cool. Like, I like the picture you have already.
Yeah, that is a piece of my art. that picture there is actually an old piece of my art, so I managed to repurpose it. Anyway, okay, so hi, I'm Cherry. I am a retired artist. Since we were talking about that. I am also an accessibility advocate and inclusion advocate, and I stream. And my character is Orvj, or Orv, if Orvj is hard to say, which it is. And they are a tiny hummingbird-sized squid that currently live in a very, very feminine, kind of like awkwardly sexy, teenage-sized pressure suit. Because that's what they could afford when they arrived in the galaxy. And their pronouns are they, them, like mine, or they're trying on she, her, because they don't really have the same kind of genders in their species. Way too many to define. And so
I love those kind of genders. I love genders that are like the last spring, the last cherry blossom of spring, or the number 7 viewed through a microscope, right? Like,
well, I was
quality
hungry
genders.
Thursday morning.
yeah, quality genders. Just updating Cammy.
Just noticed that Ray has a squid sneaking up on her.
Yes.
Yeah. They've always got the squid.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Do they? Oh.
Yeah. It's a good
Sometimes
squid.
it falls down. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's missing. You'll notice they're also like swamped by robots, but
That's true. There's many robots.
Awesome. And our ship is the Rhapsody. We have a star dancer called Rhapsody. We haven't given it a color and look. We decided it was blue, didn't we?
Can its look be jazz? Because that's the theme.
Jazz.
Blue jazz is its color and look.
It's literally Rhapsody in blue.
Yep. I think that was the thing. That was the joke from last time.
I want it. I'm so happy.
And then our crew has a reputation for being strange. I don't know how we got that reputation at all. That seems unusual, but yeah. And I'm just having a quick look at the faction sheet to get myself reacquainted, because I think we caught up with did we do entanglements and stuff? We didn't do any of that, did we? We just kind of finished the mission and wrapped up and did
we decided our heat and our payoff and
we
stuff.
Did that? Okay, cool.
We didn't kind of come up with any repercussions for our actions.
Yeah, so what happened last time? Does anyone remember at all?
Yep. There was a burning building. There was a person with a thing in their head that we had to recover.
Right.
Some of us tried to save her, but we failed.
The most passing of efforts.
The ship had crashed into the building, wasn't that?
Yeah.
And we somewhat skillfully escaped, but we did make a little bit of a mess.
You did, yeah.
I think, yeah.
And then you caught up with your friend in a back alley, and there was a bit of a thing there as well. Where
and I guess we accidentally saved them because we wanted to get paid.
Yeah, you accidentally also
very deliberately saved them so we could get paid.
Yeah, there was the opportunity to maybe get paid on either side, but we went with the original job. Potentially pissing off one of our other friends. So that's happened.
But our other friend didn't RSVP, and so they don't get the thing.
That's fair. Yeah. RSVPs for criminal jobs, very important.
There's decorum.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was interested to see, right? Was whether or not like the decorum would rule, or whether he would kowtow to like scary friends. All right. So, did I give you cred? Is that a thing I did?
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. And then we did we did upkeep, didn't we? Yes. And then
Oh, I think
We got
messed
6
up
cred, and we
the
got
cred.
we got 1 each, and then 2 on the
Okay.
ship. Is
Yeah.
what we did.
Yep, cool.
Okay, thanks.
And then
Because
upkeep.
that was the one thing I didn't mark.
Yeah, and upkeep
So
for
don't
the
roll
for the
5.
ship is systems plus crew is 2. Okay, cool. So if we paid 2 on that. That's cool. And how did we do for heat? Where is that on our ship? Wait, no, that's on our faction sheet on this one, isn't it? So that's right, because this one tracks heat separately in each system. That's really cool. So we're not wanted, and we got 3 heat, so that's pretty good. So we need to roll entanglements. So wanted 0, your find the column that matches the crew's wanted level. Cool. And then roll the number of dice equal to roll a die. A single die? Really, Strash? Sorry, that is different to what I expected. Let me see. Okay, it seems that we are rolling a single die.
Yeah.
I think we did that.
Oh, we did that,
Didn't
did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was because I can see there was a D6 at the end there.
Yeah.
So roll on. So that was cooperation. Where does that sit? Faction you have 2 + 2 or +3 status with asks you for a favor. Agree to it or lose status with them. If you don't have 2 or 3 faction status, you avoid entanglements right now. You don't have none of your friends are good enough to ask you for favors. That's what the result was from last time. So that's neat. Although you should have got friends with the Bornico Syndicate, shouldn't you? Oh no, you've done a job for them. You haven't increased your rep with them yet. All right, cool, great. So that is all that is the bookkeeping. Let's do the fun part. So downtime. During downtime between jobs, you can do one of a number of different kinds of actions. Those actions are acquire an asset, which gets you something that is like, temporary usage. You might be on loan. It might be a thing that only exists temporarily, things like that. And that might be helpful for a job or for like a downtime session or two. It's about getting something just to like hold you, like to be like, oh, we need this for this like period of time, so I'm going to grab that, rather than spending ages investing in getting something permanent. You can do crafting if you want to make some cool stuff. You can indulge your vice if you need to get rid of some stress, which is pretty common. You can lay low, which is a way of getting rid of heat in the system that you're in. You can engage in a long-term project, which is like, that's the way that you achieve a lot of things that are like not like mechanized a lot of the time, or they might have a mechanism, but it's not like immediately obvious how to resolve it. So, that might be doing research to work out a new kind of grenade, or it might be trying to get married to someone that you're interested in. You can recover, which is a way of healing yourself from being hurt, or helping someone else. You can repair the ship if it's taken damage, or you can train and just get some extra XP and stuff, and just be like, no, I want to like get better at this. And we each have two actions, so we'll kind of like cycle through, play out those little miniature scenes, and you can do more if you want to. You just have to spend creds, or I don't know if you can spend rep to do that in this system, but you can definitely spend creds for extra actions, downtime actions, if you want. And then once that's all kind of like done, then we kind of investigate like what do we want to do for our next score, so on and so forth. Does anyone have any that like really immediately jump out at them? Does anyone desperately need to indulge their vice or recover?
I've taken a fair bit of stress, so I wouldn't mind indulging my vice to kind of lower that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. What's your vice?
Ren's is, I think, pleasure. So, but in the form of like fine wine and good scotch, that kind of way of things.
Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, like we're on Indri, which is this very heavily industrialized planet, and so like all of the like really nice nice places are for like either capitalist like owners of things, or like there are probably like a bunch of union bosses as well that have like these really nice hangout places. And yeah, they've all got like the like they're elevated up, and we have like windows out onto the like roiling horrible like smog clouds of the city that create these really lovely colors of like oranges and yellows and reds and pinks in the sunlight. But yeah, it's like totally that thing of like I have that image of Vegas from Blade Runner 2049 of like all of the like, you know, balconies with like windows looking out over the completely polluted wasteland. But yeah, you going drinking, or are you going?
Yeah, I think going drinking, but not in like a rabble-rousing kind of way. I think just like, is this a world that we're familiar with?
I feel like IOTA is like probably a system that you as a group are probably pretty like you I think you've probably been to most of the visited most of the planets in the IOTA system at least once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, this is the thing. You can tell me, right? Like, are you? Is this a system that you're familiar with, Ren?
Cool. Yeah, I think from like back in the day. Like, I don't know that there's a huge amount of familiarity now, but I feel like a place like this hasn't changed a whole lot.
Were there like worker riots that the military came in to like suppress at some point, and you?
Of course there were.
And, like, you know, the old officer hangouts and stuff.
I love it. Yeah. So I feel like maybe they're not officer hangouts anymore, but there's still bars to go to, and there's like one or two that are quite upper class, and you can get like the whole place isn't upper class, but you can get a couple of drinks that are actually really worth really worth going. So I think that she has a place that she likes to go and sit in like a really terrible leather armchair and just like sip a really good like cognac. Or
that was what I was thinking. I was like, yeah. Cool.
I don't even know what cognac is, but okay.
You know enough to show it on screen.
I know it's fancy.
Yeah. So you should have a button on your character sheet for if you actually can you indulge vice. There's a button for indulge vice on the
I see it.
Yep, you should be able to click that, and it should do the thing automatically for you. So what it'll do is it'll roll your lowest resistance, and then you clear, and then we take the result from that, and we'll clear that much stress.
Okay, cool. So no bonus dice or anything, just go ahead?
Nope.
Cool.
Wow, 6. How much stress did you have?
Also, I just want to point out there's also an overindulgence.
There is. If you overindulge, how much stress did you have?
I had 4, so...
So you overindulge. Let's
okay,
find out what that is. Overindulgence. If your vice roll clears more stress than you had marked, you overindulge. A vice is not a reliable, controllable habit. It's a risk, and one that drives your character to act against their own best interests. So when you overindulge, you make a bad call because of your vice.
Oh dear.
You might do a rash action and reduce your stash by 4. If you can't or won't, then the crew takes 2 debt. You might do big.
Oh.
You might do big talk, brag about your exploits. The crew gains +2 heat in the current system. Or lost. Your character vanishes for a few weeks. Play a different character until this one returns from their bender. When your character returns, they've also healed any harm they had.
Okay, no, I don't think I want that. I think I'm gonna stick with Ren for a while. But I like the idea that maybe she got caught up in the wrong conversation and got a little bit loose-lipped and has perhaps brought some heat our way.
Yeah, cool. All right, that's gonna bump you up to 5 heat in the Iota system. And yeah, like we totally get that thing of like, you like glance over to the like dusty laser harp and like you know have the memory of like you know an exotic looking Xeno, you know, like delicately plucking this thing and singing, and like, and then we cut back to like it being the whole place being like dusty and kind of decrepit compared to its former glory, and we totally get like someone come over and be like, Ren, I haven't seen you since I heard you were ejected from the Force. And then, like, this person like sits down and like, you know, it's a person from back in the day when you were an officer here, and they're clearly not an officer anymore, and you're not, so it's okay. We can talk about stuff. Yeah, cool.
I also wanna add that this means that you might get extra XP.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you run into trouble from your vice. But I was going to ask, like, who's the person that like is from back in the day?
Well, both of my when we did character creation, both of my people were like part of my military past who are no longer in the military. Do you want to make it one of those?
Do you want to make it Chonzek? Is Chonzek here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
What's Chonzek look like? What was their presentation?
I think that Chonzek is a Xeno, but in a sort of Star Warsy way, in that they're essentially a human, but like blue.
Yeah.
So I think they also have cat eyes, like
cool.
with the with the kind of
and and I imagine that like that like they were probably like technically higher rank than you, but like always but like liked to didn't like to be too fancy, and they're always and so like they sit down and they're like and they're like, what are you doing on this mess of a planet? You can't breathe outside, it's horrible. And then like immediately and they're like, did you hear about that fucking crash? Someone crashed into a building. That's insane.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then I assume you've had a nice cognac. It's you know, there's no one else around, and we
no. Why would there be?
And we just like zoom out through the window and into the like mists of the fog of the smog as you run your fucking mouth.
Yep, classic.
Who has another action they want to have a go at?
I would like to try a downtime action, vice.
Yep, you wanna indulge your vice. What's your vice, Tim? Faith. Where do you go? I mean, like Indri is the perfect place for like faith in the machine spirits, right? Like,
I think it's a bit between faith and weird in that they go to the engine of the Rhapsody and like get naked and pull a lot of their cybernetics off and like stand a bit too close
to the nuclear or whatever it is, like, and like drive engine? Yeah, and expose yourself to the holy rays.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to press that indulge vice button for me, friend?
Everything is fine.
Cool. Excellent. Good. You just bathe in the holy energies of a fusion drive.
And mutter about things and
Yeah.
stuff.
Cool. All right. Great. Cool. I love that image of just like the shedding of the clothes and then the like unhooking of the cybernetics and then and then we just see like the silhouette of you with like the like yellow light from the fusion drive just like washing over you.
In this like humming.
Yeah. Yep. And like you specifically like opened the protective cage and gone inside and something that. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's a neat vice roll. Does anyone else want to?
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's not clear to me from the rules.
Yeah.
With training, are we only training in crew experience or are we training in personal experience?
So let me find it because I need to double check that it works the same. Yeah. So when you train, you train yourself. So you can either train one of your, because you know how you've got 4 different XP tracks, one for each of the attributes, and then one for your whole playbook.
Mm-hmm.
So you can mark 1 XP on any of those, depending on how you're doing the training. And I just got to check because I have a feeling that the Rhapsody has training in. If you're doing insight training, you get a bonus XP when you do that, so you get 2 instead of 1.
Oh.
Because we are very insightful and our ship is set up to help you like do that. So maybe we have like what does that look like for us? Like I'm just curious about on the ship. What does the ship have that makes it easier for us to like train our insight? Do we have like some actual books or something? Or like do we have like a just like a VR set or
I think maybe like something, because I would think something kind of maybe biomechanical, just because of like the kind of overall idea that there's so many weird biomechanical things that we don't necessarily know about the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like some kind of room that's like part bio, part mechanical that
I like the idea there's a part that you can like I like that there's the part where you can like just like press your head against it and have like a psychic interface with something that is maybe part of the ship. And it's I like that. Like
part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah, right. And there's someone just like rested their head against it once and was like, whoa, you know. And they're like, oh, okay. Don't put your head there if you don't want to have a psychic experience.
Yeah, and we think that maybe the biomech stuff is from what are the predecessors called?
The precursors are called but precursor is fine as well.
Oh, okay, they're just called precursors. Okay, yeah. So I was thinking that maybe I would train in some insight, and the way that would look for Orovj is that they really want to kind of learn hacking. Like they're very interested in this idea that humans can break into things and change things in kind of the digital way, because doesn't really work that way on their ship. Their ship, there's no security like that in their culture, so they've never had to worry about not having access to things. And so I kind of like the idea that everyone else is like perhaps off on the planet and Orovj is like on the ship, just kind of lost in their own world. And like I like the idea that you're at one end of the ship doing the psychic thing, and at the other end of the ship there's Tin Can just being like right, like both of you are engaging with the ship in like weird ways. It's cool. I like it. I'm totally now got this image in my head of the ship being like kind of like a blue scarab beetle in shape because of the semi-ship, semi-biological weirdness. Yeah. Sorry, Sherry, I interrupted you. Yeah, I was just going to say that I think that like maybe the room is kind of, there's just like a lot of loose wires and like visible pipes, and like it's not a particularly nice room to be in for a lot of people, but to Orovs, it doesn't really, that kind of thing doesn't bother them because they've lived on a ship so much of their life that it kind of feels comforting in a way. And it's kind of comforting to be alone because they feel so different to the humans and the other Xenos that they're around a lot of the time.
Do you want to hit the indulge button? We'll find out if anything.
It's not advice, it's a learning.
That wasn't
Oh,
advice.
so learning. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So,
Okay.
sorry. So, yeah, mark an XP and that's insight. So, mark 2 XP in insight. Neat. Cool. Now my brain's off in like Farscape territory with like the living.
Oh my
ship.
god! Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. DC, do you have a feeling about a downtime action you'd like to take?
Yeah. Thane is going to indulge the vice of weird.
Talk to me about what that looks like.
So, I was thinking about this before everyone starts saying all the weird ship stuff. So our minds were all in the same place. I think that there's a room inside of the ship that Thane has not told anyone else about, because it's just a very strange ship to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
And inside there's just a bunch of technology and writing and things that Thane has no idea what they are, how to interact with them, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
But he spends time trying to understand all of it.
Yeah, right. My brain has it goes to like the imagery of in what was the Marvel TV series about the Agents of Shield when the guy there's the thing where the people are like writing on the walls. I don't know. I think that's season 2. There's this whole thing where people are like trying to understand all of this alien writing and just being like, oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Is that the kind of thing we're talking about? The like getting weird, trying to understand alien technology.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool, awesome. I'm so interested to see what overindulging this looks like, but also let's press the button and find out what happens. How much stress have you got?
3.
All right, cool. Let's press the button. Take the lowest of the 2. So you clear 2 stress. You don't overindulge. You're left with 1.
Woo.
Nice. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. That didn't go as badly as it could have for a first round of downtime actions, especially clearing stress. Yeah. Does anyone else have another thing that they feel like is popping up for them?
Yeah, my initial action kind of leads into another one accidentally.
Yeah, great.
So Orange accidentally makes contact with an elite hacking group. They don't know how this happens. What happens is just suddenly they're friends.
Oops.
And we don't know if they're good or bad, but like now we're kind of on the hook with them because I think the idea is that like through interfacing with this room on the insight room on the ship that this has, because it aided Arj in their hacking that they were indulging in or like learning about, it made Arj look more competent than they are.
Right, okay, yep.
And so there's this elite hacking group that's like highly wanted in like so many systems.
Yep.
And now we're kind of like, I don't think we owe them, but they're there. And,
right, okay, yep.
And they could either help us or they may not, we'll see.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is that a one of the specific downtime actions? Because during downtime you can also just do stuff, right? You don't have to be doing specific downtime actions. You can be like, also I want to have a conversation with my crewmate, or also I want to, go and spend some time just looking at the sunset, right? Like those are, you don't have to. It's just when the things that you're doing are those actions, that's when it uses up that action economy.
Yeah, this is acquire assets. So we're acquiring a temporary use asset
of friends by Cool.
Friends,
Awesome.
hacking friends with benefits, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah,
Not in
cool.
the sexy way.
Yeah, so when you're doing an acquire asset roll, I think you roll. So you roll crew quality. The result indicates the quality of the asset that you get. Cool. So what's our crew quality currently? It's 0, isn't it?
It's a bit
So
harsh.
rude. Yeah, rude.
We're
Look,
just wee space
look.
babies.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
even know us.
So you're rolling 2 dice and taking the lowest.
So cute.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So you've got access to I think like for the moment you've got the like use of a single hacker. I think their call sign is there you go. It's D-Rax Boy 46. So that's our hacker friend who is hanging around for a while. He's about as valuable. He's a similar tier to you, i.e., 0, because you can't be -1 tier.
Maybe he also looks more competent than he is.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what it is. I have a feeling that on the back end, like him being like associated with you is kind of like a hazing ritual, right? Like he's new and he's being like, you know, oh yeah, go help out these people and they'll cool. But you have that. You have access to D-Rax Boy 46. So nice.
Might be helpful.
Yeah. Good job. Cool. Anyone else got things they're feeling like?
I want to train.
Training is a good default. What are you training in?
Training in Resolve.
Nice. Cool. What does that look like? Are you just doing like 1,000 push-ups or? Oh no, that would be prowess.
That was prowess.
Resolve is like, I don't know, like hitting yourself with a stick or something. What does it look like to you, DC?
Or having a deep conversation. Like it doesn't have to be physical.
I know. Just
So because Thane has Find the Way, which is gain +1 to attune when sensing the way, or plus whatever for the situation. They are going to still in their weird room.
Yeah, the one that no one else knows about.
Practice their little force sense.
Cool.
Just
try
and
like
feel all of the bits of the ship, and then it's like, oh, person and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. So mark an XP in Resolve, and yeah, there's totally like a thing where like the ship, you kind of like pick up on the ship's like life force reading or whatever. You know, there's like a sound of ringing glass leaves a taste of green in your mouth, just like, oh gosh, okay. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Super neat. Cammy, Evie? Feelings?
I would like to do a craft.
Ooh, craft is not in the other one, so I need to look up what it does.
So we stole that woman's blaster pistol before she died. I would like to rig up a laser eye. Oh, no, a blaster hand.
A blaster hand. All right, let's have a look at, so 282, crafting. During downtime, they can craft if they have access to the required materials and tools. So you must have the schematic for it and spend a downtime activity to make it. How do you get schematics? Design. To design a schematic for a device, you need to study it as a long-term project. So do you want to actually start a long-term project to study?
Yes.
Yes.
To make blaster hands.
Blaster hands, study, long-term project. I mean, 8-segment progress clock is the default, so yeah. So on your sheet you should have a thing for clocks. You should be able to put a little clock there for, and it's 8 segments. So the thing I have to ask is, when we're doing this, do I ask that at the start or the end? Let's do one question now, and we can actually we'll do it the one now so that we can get it done. The GM asks, what type of device is it, and what does it do?
It's a blaster, but in my hand, so it's like concealed.
Cool, love it.
So I can go, yeah.
Cool.
It's sneaky beaky.
Cammy, you have to ask a question now. If you're looking on page.
What's the minimum quality level of this item such that it doesn't blow my arm off?
Yeah. Magnitude, pop. Let me find it. Science and the Strange, crafting, magnitude. All right. What kind of blaster are we talking? Are we talking just like a small pistol?
Yeah, like just a standard security blaster.
Yep. Cool. Is it gonna like kill people or injure them?
Injure them.
Cool. A regular.
Unless I shoot them right in the head, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like 2 is the example quality. Yeah. Force strong versus force moderate. So yeah, it's gonna, if it's gonna have the potential to kill them, but or do serious injury rather than just like ow, then that's magnitude 2. So minimum quality is 2. And then I ask, what complexity did you have to overcome that keeps this design from being widely used?
I escaped the Yanov?
Yeah, so it's somehow connected to, what's their name? The weird people?
Yeah, well, I have their like proprietary cybernetics, and so I have to figure out how to integrate that with the
Yaru is their name.
Yaru.
Yeah. So yeah, it's connected to Yaru cybernetics. Cool. And then you get to ask me a question.
What drawbacks does this item have, if any?
All right, let me find the list. Drawbacks. No.
Could be like in that Dr. McNinja comic where he gets really tired because firing a laser off of your body's own energy is really calorie intensive.
Do we think it's like, I'm opening this up to the crew. Do we think a hand laser is unreliable, so sometimes it doesn't do it sometimes doesn't shoot as good, or volatile, sometimes it like has a bad side effect?
I think volatile makes more sense.
That's yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Considering that you
That's
are
the fun one.
it in front of the ship's fusion core like once a week or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd
So
say
yeah, cool. So the drawback is volatile, Cammy. Yep. I think it's probably like has might leak some mercury into your system, might burn you. Who knows? We'll find out. Yeah. So yeah, because that works for me, especially because it's weird Yaru stuff. Awesome. Cool. Evie, did you have another one you wanted to do?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some training in Resolve.
Awesome.
And I think that a little bit kind of hungover after her night out, this involves sort of, she's thinking back on their last mission and how she wasn't able to boss around this this person. Like Thane had to come in and help her out because she wasn't intimidating enough. And I think it involves one of those montages where she's standing in front of the mirror in her quarters and like practicing saying really stern things into the mirror.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, that's so cute. All right.
The others can never know that she practices being a tough guy.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Let's mark a resolve. And okay, I did just realize that I didn't make you roll to progress that because you should get to.
I pressed the study button. Watch this. I think that's what I do. Position.
Position is like Oh no, because it's downtime, so it's always risky standard because they don't actually count for downtime.
Nice.
Excellent. So on a downtime, on a long-term project, a 6 in this system is 3 ticks on your clock. And I think you can spend you could spend a cred to bump it up 1, and that would get you to 5 rather than 3, because it would take it from a 6 to a critical.
I will do that because I buy some bits.
Buy some parts. I mean, you're on the right system. You're on the right planet for it, right? Like, Indra is where you can be like, I'm going to make a thing to put in my hand. Check out this, like, industrial level battery that I'm going to put in it.
I find, like, the local cyber junkie. I'm like, how would you do?
Cool. Awesome. Let me, where's my name list? Scum and Villainy. Oh, no. What's a good cyber junkie name? I'm just gonna go with Cora. She's like, yeah, she's like 100% got like in like embedded into her chest. She's got like a big like blue glowing orb that's like in this like mesh mesh housing. It's kind of like a giant sphere Iron Man heart.
Yeah, she's Tony Stark.
Yeah, except like Tony Stark when like having been on a bender, right? Like big dark eyes, dark under her eyes and things like that. And she's cool.
Origin story Tony Stark when he did it while he was a prisoner.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Except it takes up like most of her chest cavity, right? Like
some severe heavy metal poisoning.
Like, huge, big energy orb thing, weird thing.
That's my jam.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, so she hooks you up with the good stuff. The like extreme transponders and maxi capacitors. I don't know. Cool.
About the only time I ever hear the word maxi is in relation to like sanitary towels.
Yes, I know, I got that.
Really weird.
Well, a capacitor is something that holds things.
Because I think of Maxi Bon, the ice cream sandwich.
I don't think they have that. Did they have that? Yeah, okay.
That's very Australian. Yeah.
I mean, we have an ice cream called a Golden Gay Time. So.
Yeah, I want it so bad. Have you seen the unicorn one?
Yes. Yeah, I've had one. They're great. Yep.
I want one.
It's hard to have a Golden Gay Time on your own.
Considered robbing a bank and traveling to Australia just to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's lots of things. Anyway, I think now that we've done our downtime, do we want to?
Did Ray have one more action?
No. I did the two. I studied and we have an asset.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, Cherry's done 2 already. Orov's kind of like bled one into the other. So that's cool. Let's take a break, and I'm gonna look at. I'm just trying to work out what's the best way to establish what we want to do next. I think I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna like throw some opportunities in front of you, and we can have a conversation about like what we'd like to do, or if we want to do more downtime actions. If anyone wants to spend credit to do that. But let's take our first break, and we can come back after that. We'll be back in a second.